Hey everyone, Random Randy here. This is Yarn Talk and More, episode 67. Today is the 18th of August, 2018, and it is my father's birthday today. So, I only have a few yarny things finished. I have more yarny things started, and a lot of things that are still in progress that I really need to hurry up and finish so I can get on with my life and move on to other things. I've also got some sewing stuff and some clay things to show. So first, the yarn stuff. Very few finished things that I have. I believe in the last one I showed off the little Jawa that I made from the Star Wars crochet kit. And as you can see in my other hand, I finally finished the BB-8, which I will never make ever again in all of my existence. And it's funny because Ruthie from Pink Pumpkin Crochet knows exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know what it was about this. It's not that it was a difficult design. I think that it was the fact that you had to make this portion, which is actually a separate piece that you make and then sew on. You actually made the same pattern 6 times, twice in the actual body, top and the bottom, and then you made the same design 4 more times and had to sew it on, and there's a color change every single row. So it turned out really cute. It really is adorable, but I wouldn't ever want to make one ever again. No. So those 2 are done. I have to get in touch with the lady who asked me to make these for her and see if there were any other designs from the kit she wanted me to make. And I'm keeping them in a separate little Ziploc bag because white yarn. I have a black cat and a dog who is partly black who is shedding horribly right now, and I don't want things covered in fur. So the BB-8 is a new finished thing for this week. Other things that I have that are super teeny tiny from the digital crochet pattern book by, who is it by? I want to say that it's the designer is a menagerie of stitches. I have it on my phone. Why don't I just look? Here, I'll look on my phone and I'll find out. Hold that thought. Alright, so the 2 little things that I have are actually from the 100 Days of Mini Amigurumi book that I believe you can get a printed version of now, but I just got the digital one because it's so much easier to carry my phone around than it is to carry a giant book. And it is by Lauren Espy, who is a menagerie of stitches, and I actually saw one of my viewers, Lindsay, making a bunch of these things on her Instagram, and I was like, I need those in my life. Why do I need them? I don't know, but I do. So, just to show you the main picture, I don't know if it'll even focus with the glare, probably not, and my phone's gonna shut off the screen anyhow. Anyway, there's a ton of teeny tiny itty bitty amigurumi there, and there's 100 different patterns, and I want to say it was maybe 20, 25, somewhere in that range for the digital version. And I made 2 of them so far, and I didn't get to finish all the details on the second one yet because I made it and chucked it in a box and forgot about it. So this is a little frosted sugar cookie, and instead of stitching things on, I used tulip dimensional paint for the eyes and the mouth, and the little sprinkles, some of which you can barely see, actually glow in the dark. I don't think I have any way that I can show that, but they do, because, you know, Randy likes things that glow in the dark. It's just a thing. I don't know why, but it is. And the other one is this little teeny tiny donut, which you could actually use as a pincushion if you were so inclined. So these are super, super small, like teeny tiny small, super itty bitty things. And there's 98 other patterns of approximately the same size that I now have that I can make whenever I want to without having to scour through my Pinterest boards for hours trying to find the free versions of these same patterns. Now I just have them all localized in one place. Money well spent. And the only other finished thing that I have is this monstrosity, which turned out to be excessively larger than I thought it was going to be. It's an F-bomb. It's a big freaking F-bomb. Look at how huge this is. So this pattern, I don't remember who it's by, but I will link to it in the description box below, because in one of my Pinterest boards I have the link to it. And I am working on a miniature version of this that's small enough to go on a keychain, so probably about yay big, maybe 2 inches across, as opposed to this, which, don't get me wrong, this would be great to have in an office setting for chucking at coworkers, because it seems like it would be so much more fun to throw an F-bomb at somebody than to just drop one. But for this, I used just Red Heart Super Saver Black. This is Karen Simply Soft Party, which is metallic. I used I believe it's Red Heart with Love metallic, and the gray here, which I actually got from Claudia in the Crochet Carousel package swap. Claudia from Crochet Luna. And I altered the fuse and made a little itty bitty miniature pom-pom from the Simply Soft Party for the lit end of the fuse. So there's that. Very, very large F-bomb. I really like it. It wasn't a hard pattern. I just couldn't believe how big it turned out. So I think I'm going to offer these in my shop, and I know I'm definitely going to have to make a whole bunch for my show coming up in October, which is why I need to get working on the miniature sized version. Because as cool as this is, it seems like smaller things sell better, so I want to have the large version available, but have more of the smaller ones on hand. So that. And I have all of my little finished things in an old ice cream bucket that I washed out really well. Good way to keep it off the floor and keep hair out of it. Other things that I am working on, I need to finish up this other hat today. That's actually next thing on my list. So I have one of the hats for the lady who asked for them. I just need to sew in the 2 ends. This is just a navy blue basic beanie with a ribbed brim. And I am working on the second one in brown. So I just need to finish those up today, get the ends woven in, so I'll have those ready for whenever she wants them. And right now those are in one of Claudia's bags. Only other thing that I have right now that is an active whip is in this bag, which is actually the last installment of the Summer Blues 2018 bag club from Kendra over at Hooked by Happenstance and Happenstance Place. Really like this bag. This is one of the medium-sized bags that she has, and the interior is the same as the fabric that's on the bottom. But in here is a pattern that I'm actually testing for Holly over at Yarn Journey Crochet. And I will link to her channel, but I saw her post up on Instagram that she was looking for testers, and I've tested for her before and I like her pattern, so I figured, hey, I'll see if she needs a person. And she did, so yay, lucky me! Now I have an excuse to use some of my hand-dyed yarns that have been just kind of languishing, that nobody's been picking them up in my shop, so I'm gonna make use of them. And I made sure I adjusted the quantities so nobody orders it and I'm like, oh crap, I'm using that, no! Because refunding orders is no fun. So this is Holly's Tri-Peak Fade shawl. I'm gonna actually show you the picture of what it looks like finished without showing you the actual pattern. Maybe. If you'll even be able to see it with the glare on my phone from before. But this is what it will look like when it is done. Maybe. Oh, there we go. Now you can kind of see it. So as you can see, it is a fade shawl. It is crochet. And it has these 3 nifty pointy bits, hence Tri-Peak. So it takes 3 different colors of yarn, and I have all of mine picked out, but I'm not sure how the third one is going to mesh, so I might end up having to change that one, but that'll be okay if I do. And I just started getting into the color changes. This is what it's looking like so far. It is an asymmetrical shawl. Starts off really teeny, gets bigger, bigger, bigger. And I just got into my first color changes here, which are fairly small color change stripes to start with, and then the blocks of this second color will get larger. This is the yarn that I hand-dyed myself that was called Graphite. It's 80% fine Highland wool, 20% nylon, and this one is 75 superwash merino, 25% nylon. And this one is Graphite. This is the lucky dip that I did with leftover bits from my Harlot yarn colorway, and I'm going to use the actual Harlot yarn in the middle. So yeah, that's going to be cool. I'm excited. The only complaint that I have about it is that there's going to be a lot of ends to tie in. And I could completely go over them, but I don't trust the security of only crocheting over top of your ends. So as you can see, I tend to crochet over just a few stitches over the ends and then completely tie them off and weave them in. There's one there too. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of ends to weave in. That's my only complaint. I really like it so far. I'm liking the way that the yarn itself is, because I haven't actually used this yarn and the nylon makes it so stretchy. So this is going to be my weirdo scarf slash shawl for this year, because I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are going to use all of these really pretty feminine colors for it, and I'm over here like, look at my tonal brown and gray and orange and neon green, because you know that's just what Randy does. This is how I do things. This is how I do all things. I think it's going to look pretty cool. I'm excited. But I keep having just get to the next color change syndrome. It's not even just one more row. It's so much worse than just one more row, because you're like, oh, the next color change. And then you realize that the next color change is like 20 rows away, and you're like, oh, these rows are going pretty quickly. But, you know, as it gets bigger, the rows take longer, so it's more time. And you're like, oh, it's 2 in the morning and I'm still working on this. Oops. So, Holly, if you get to see this, I'm really liking working on the shawl. Super awesome. Very much enjoying it. So yes, super cool. I mean, even right now, the size that it is already, it goes all the way up to one shoulder. So, if you wanted to have a teeny tiny little scarf, I mean, you could just do one of these with it, tuck it into your coat, if you didn't have the patience to make it into a full shawl. So there's that. That is my last active work in progress. I have 2 of my Hangetsu shawls that are kind of on timeout. One of them because it was just too hot to work on a shawl, and the other one because I was making it with shawl and a ball, which I have discovered through partly using one skein of it is not my favorite yarn to work with. It is very pretty yarn, don't get me wrong, but I don't like it with the hook size I'm using, so maybe I'll rip it back and try it with a smaller hook and see if it's better. It just seems like it's working up super, super, super slow, and I don't have the patience for that. So the other things that I have, I will do clay things first because there's only a few of them and it's 2 designs, honestly, and then it's just multiple repeats of it. So, crinkle, crinkle. The clay charms that I worked up in line with my crocheted F-bomb. Got these little itty bitty, teeny tiny clay F-bombs, and they are glazed and they can be put on leatherback or lobster clasp findings. I made a whole bunch of them because the last batch I only made, I think, 8 in the first batch, and they were gone inside of 2 days once I listed them, so I have a whole bunch of them made now. I'll probably be making more in the next couple of days just to have them at least in a partial stage of production, because these are a lot more work than you would think that they are with all of the... It's really just a wait time that takes forever, because you have to wait for the first layer of paint for the F to dry, then the second layer of paint for the F to dry, and then the glaze, and then glaze the other side of it. It's a process. It takes a while. The other clay things that I have mostly done, I still need to glaze them, mostly just to protect the paint on the faces. But I made a whole second batch of unicorn poop clay markers. Where's that face? There's that face. So yeah, these are super teeny tiny. They are made out of polymer clay. They have little painted on kawaii faces. And these have portions of them that glow in the dark. If you look on my Etsy shop, you'll be able to see the picture of them glowy. So I made a whole bunch more of those. I think I've got 14 or 16 more sitting right here in front of me, and I think I had 3 or 4 left from the first batch. So I just have to glaze those and then put them away and wait until people want them. So that's the clay stuff. All done. Everything else is sewing stuff. It's all bag things. I'm going to show you these, and then I've got something really super cool that I want to share with all of you awesome YouTube people. So firstly, I have this really awesome, very summery print. It is popsicles and watermelon popsicles and all these cool things. The interior fabric is this light green with vertical black stripes that made me think watermelon rind, which... what doesn't scream summer more than watermelon, right? So I have a large bag size of it. I have a medium bag, which this is the first time that I've made a medium bag size. This ended up being 11 by 11 with a 3.5 inch bottom, I believe. And they all do have the squared bottoms on them. All of the actual bags that I made. So there's a large and a medium of that. And then I have a whole bunch of little pouches. I probably could have made another bag, but I don't know. I wanted to test myself on sewing zippers, I guess. I have 2 9x7 pouches with the same interior lining. And they have a nylon zipper. And I have 3 smaller notions pouches, which would be good for a coin purse, for a bank bag for craft fairs. These ended up being 5x7. Yeah, these ones ended up being 5x7, and these all have pink zippers. There's those. I have one more bag and a corresponding pouch. This was actually part of my fabric inheritance that I purchased. And this is a bookshelf print with some florals, and it's really super cool. I like it a lot, but I only had the 1 yard of it, so I made what I could from it. And the interior of this one is green. And I started, not all of these have this, but it's something I'm going to start doing going forward. Inside of the pouch is a little loop that you can hook a stitch marker to, or any number of other things in here. With my bigger bags, if you were carrying it as more of a handbag, you could attach your keys to it if they're on a lanyard. So that's one of the 9x7 pouches. And I have this bag, which is a large size bag made with the same material. And the interior of this one is a brown, beige, white argyle. And this also has the little interior loop. It's a drawstring bag. Very excessively large squared bottom. I think when I measured, these were 6.5 inches across on the bottom. So it can hold quite a bit. That is that. And for all of you awesome YouTube people, because through this channel, which is where a lot of my sales come from, is from people who watch my videos, I have finally surpassed my first personal sales goal, which is fantastic. Now I'm moving on up to the next one for a monthly goal. So, in honor of meeting that first goal, I'm going to give everybody who watches this channel a discount in my shop. It will be a coupon code that you will have to put in at the end of your order. It will be for 15% off any purchase that is $20 or greater pre-shipping price. So if you're really super close, you can add something like a stitch marker to it to make it be $20, and then you get 15% off the whole purchase. So it's really like you're getting the stitch marker for free. So if there's a bag that you've been eyeing that you want, or if you want to get a few pouches, or if you want to get some of my yarn that I still have in the shop, which I actually need to dye up the rest of the yarn that I have just to get it off my shelf, feel free to use that. The coupon code will be YT500, and that will get you 15% off any purchase that is $20 or greater pre-shipping. That will be good until the end of August. So up until September 1st, that coupon code will be active. So feel free to use it, and it is available for multiple uses. It's not just a one-time use thing. And if you're somebody who does order from me, in addition to that, you will also get a thank you coupon code, which is good for the rest of the year up until I think February of next year. I think I have it programmed for. I don't quite remember. But anyway, regardless. Good stuff. Thank you so much, everybody who has bought something from my shop. It really means a lot to me, and some of you leave such sweet notes for me that it's really ridiculously emotional, because I know I've kind of touched on it before, but I have absolutely crap self-esteem. I have for a really, really, really long time due to a variety of factors and things that I've experienced throughout my life. But having people say that something I've created means something to them, or it makes their lives easier, or it's just something that they enjoy that brought a little bit of happiness and joy into their day, really does make me feel awesome. And having two small children who don't quite understand the power of their words yet, who occasionally say really awful things when they're angry, that shouldn't get to me like they do, but they still do. It's nice to have other people say, hey, you're awesome, you're doing a great job. So, sincere and heartfelt thanks to all of you, especially people who've been here for a long, long time, even before I was making stuff to sell. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. So, after all of the sap, thank you so much, everybody, for watching this video, and I'm honestly probably pretty much done with Vlogust for the month. I know it's only halfway through the month, and I kind of bombed out about after the first week, but just too many life things, and as much as I'd love to make daily content for you guys, I just can't commit to that with all the other things that I've got going on. So, thank you again so much, everybody, for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video. Bye.